Well, welcome, Amanda. Welcome to the village. Welcome to the village people. I'd like to begin by acknowledging the traditional owners of the land on which we meet today and paying my respect to elders past, present and emerging. There are a great many folk here who could tell you so much more about the history of Logan Village than I can. But in a quick couple of minutes, I'll try and catch you up on what you've missed in the last 150 years. So Logan Village was first settled in the 1860s, and at that time we enjoyed a period of sustained growth, and the river was actually the main mode of transport for us here in the village. Due to our proximity to the river, we had an important outpost for trade, and we also had a great deal of farming communities that worked on the river. Today we still have several of those farming communities in the Chambers Flat area that still farm the region. The decision to extend the railway line through Beaudesert in 1885 led to the end of the shipping trade, but it actually started a new mode of transportation through the village and new opportunities opened up. Logan Village continued to develop with a new school opening, and those of us who are going on the tour this afternoon will actually pop over and we'll pay a little visit to the original school that actually sat on this site all those years ago. Many of you'll know that this region actually became a military base for the people in Camp Cable, and it was in fact known as Camp Cable, but the location was on where modern day Yarrabilba sits today. And I'm looking for where are they? The Logan Village Rockers. Here they are. The Logan Village Rockers were a huge supporter of our 75 years of Camp Cable, which we celebrated in Yarrabilba not that long ago. I don't know if you realise, but at that time we actually had some 50,000 people descend on Logan Village, and of those there were 20,000 US soldiers. So, you can imagine the village just burst, and we had the great pleasure of welcoming none other than Eleanor Roosevelt and, of course, General Douglas MacArthur to the region. So certainly we were on the map. After the Second World War, development kind of slowed a little, and we moved into a phase of residential development. People actually came out to the fringes to enjoy our amazing lifestyle, and they set up their homes. As you know, because I don't have to tell you, we have an amazing rich heritage here. And I'd like to thank all of you who attended our focus groups in the lead up to today. You would have heard Amanda say before that we've already gathered some thoughts, and that's because we did a bit of work on the ground. Councillor Raven was very actively involved in the focus groups, and we actually got a little bit of information from you. And the resounding message we kept getting from you is that you don't want to lose the history, the heritage and the culture that you hold dear to Logan Village. But also, you don't want to be consumed by development. You don't simply want to become an outpost of Yarrabilba. Instead, you want to have your own unique community, and you want to celebrate that and grow over time. I would like to take a moment to acknowledge the people who've really made this event happen and acknowledge the members of Logan City Council's executive leadership team. First of all, I'd like to acknowledge our newest director, Dave Hanson, who's down the back there. And I'd also like to thank Alicia Swain, who's unable to be with us today. I'd like to acknowledge Robert Strachan for his ongoing support, and I understand Jane Frawley can't be here with us today either. Council's acting CEO, Sylvia Trinker, sends his warmest regards for the summit, and he also forwards his apologies. But I would like to take a moment to acknowledge our immediate past CEO, who's with us today, Miss Sharon Kelsey. And some of the Logan Village Museum folk will remember Sharon from when she brought her husband down here to visit the village. Now, little known fact, Sharon's husband is actually a bottle expert. So spend some time in the village acknowledging our great history and identifying some rare and rich finds from the museum. Speaking of treasures, I'd like to take a moment to extend a very special welcome. Could you stand up, please, to David Cassidy. Where are you, David? Here we go. Tia Sun, Jamie Lee Kelly, and Matthew Sarin. These are our amazing students from Logan Village Primary School. Please give them a round of applause. This is the next generation, ladies and gentlemen. Take a seat. And these guys actually came and talked to me a little while ago about what their vision is for the village, and you're going to hear a little bit more about that today. You've already met our hostess with the mostess, Miss Amanda Newbury, and her amazing team from Articulus are with us today, and they'll be facilitating the forum. And we're also very fortunate to have a distinguished lineup of speakers. It was important to me that we brought people to the region who could tell you something new, something that you may not have heard before, something that would challenge your thinking. So today we've actually got Krista Horitz. Where's Krista? Krista, where are you? Is she here yet? There she is down the back. Welcome, Krista. Krista's the founder of Krista Horitz Tourism Marketing and Events. And Krista's background really involves working and breathing regional tourism for the past 25 years. And I know there's some people in this room who are really keen about the tourism aspect. So thank you, Krista. We look forward to hearing from you. Where's Lucinda? Where is she? There's Lucinda. She's down the back there. Lucinda is the co-founder of Co-Design Studio and Neighbourlytics. I think I got that right. And she's a leading urban designer. And she'll be talking to us a little bit about revitalising cities and towns over the course of the day. Where's Stephen Burgess? Stephen, where are you? I met you earlier. There he is, hiding down the back. Stephen's an engineer, but I still hear that you're a great speaker, Stephen. Stephen has extensive experience on movement and transport, which I know is a hot topic for us down here, in particular with placemaking and influences on towns and their prosperity. Where's Bill Grant? Where are you, Bill? There he is. Awesome. Thank you, Bill. Bill is actually the director from the New Hope Corporation, and he's a destination specialist. And if there's one thing we know about the village, it's a destination. Bill has considerable experience as chair of Brisbane Airport Corporation and CEO of South Bank Corporation. And I've also got Dean Patterson from Lendlease. Where are you, Dean? Awesome. Many of you will know Dean already. Dean is the State Community Partnership Manager for Lendlease Communities. And a little later today, he's going to share with us some tales about how Yarrabilba's developing, where it's going, where we're at, and what the future might look like from that corner of the world. So with all that being said, it's now time for us to acknowledge the stars of the show, and that's all of you. I'm so excited that you've all come out today. I was, it's like a wedding, right? If anyone who's ever coordinated a wedding, there's two really worst-case scenarios. The first one is that everyone you invite, no one turns up. And the other worst-case scenario is everyone you invite, everyone turns up. Well, I'm absolutely delighted that you're all here today, and we're trying to rustle you up some extra chairs, anyone who's standing at the moment. But thank you, because that tells me the level of passion and interest in the issues that we're experiencing here in the village, and that you want to be part of determining our future. Looking back, it might surprise you to learn that Logan's first land titles were actually sold here in Logan Village. And I know residents are concerned about the growing population in Yarrabilba and the ever-changing face of our community. We want to hear your thoughts on what we need to do to build a vibrant community for the future, and how to strengthen our ties with our cultural heritage. Logan Village is a place, I'd like to say this was my line, it's actually John Raven's line, so I've got to give him a little bit of credit here. Logan Village is a place where history meets opportunity. We'd like you, as our representatives from the community, our business owners, our residents, our investors and our visitors, to let us know what you see for the future of the village. We want to hear your ideas. We want to know what you love about the village. We want to know what you think our key challenges are. And we also want your ideas on how we can work through those challenges. All those ideas and projects are important, and there are opportunities for anyone that can't make it to the summit today to be part of the summit. You will be able to jump online. You can flip me an email. I'll be down at Woolies on Friday night meeting with residents. So if you don't get your say today, that doesn't mean you don't get your say. As mentioned earlier by Amanda, we'll be working toward an action plan today. The one thing I did hear from residents is what we don't want is another stagnant plan that sits on a bench and it gathers some dust, right? There's hardly any point to that. You'll be wasting your time, wasting my time, wasting precious resources. It's really important that we can actually work through something that we can build on today. And I'm certainly hoping that at one point we can look back and go, we went to that summit and this is actually an outcome of the summit, and I'm really proud to say that I was a part of that. So, with all that being said, today is your day, where history meets opportunity. And in closing, I would just like to quote a local legend. Where's Alan Pettigrew? Here he is. Alan Pettigrew. Stand up, Alan. In times of trouble, I go to Alan, who is always a sage voice on wisdom. And one of the things Alan told me was that he would view Yarrabilba as all about the youth and enthusiasm, and we here in the village are a little bit about the history and the culture. So with all that being said, ladies and gentlemen, I hope you have an awesome day taking part in Logan Villages, where history meets opportunity.